Afternoon, everyone. We're going to start in just a few minutes here to give us about 3 minutes for our other friends to get online. And those of you joining us on YouTube Live, want to thank you for joining us today. Just make sure if you don't mind liking that at the end. And also, if you have any questions, just ask them there in the chat box. Don't forget to subscribe because that is a great way to be alerted when there are sessions that we do on GovSchool. Today, we're going to spend about 30 minutes together talking about the end of fiscal year 2026 at the federal government level. There was some good news this weekend when we learned that it's not going to be a shutdown. That's always some good news because it's been so chaotic the last year at the federal government level. We want to make sure you take fully advantage of that process. It's probably the first time it's been normal in a while, so that's a good outcome. And not only that, but because of the more recent shutdowns, they've got there's still a backlog, and they're rushing to get those funds spent. Otherwise, they potentially can see that disappear. They don't want to have that happen. So we're going to spend to get some time together. I usually get started about 3:01, 3:02, and we're going to spend about 20, 30 minutes together. If you have any questions today, you can type those into the chat, and I'll be glad to answer them at the end. For privacy reasons, make sure that you're aware that this is a recorded version and we are live on YouTube. So thank you for joining. My name is Mark. I'm one of the founders of GovDirections, and we're here today to talk to you about FY 2026. And once again, thank you for attending it on YouTube Live. And if you have a few minutes, go ahead and subscribe there, and you'll find some helpful classes that we offer, and they're somewhat routine. And we like to make sure you're fully educated in this process of government contracting. Our primary purpose is to help you find, and that's something we've been doing since 1998. In fact, today we just broke 80,000 active bids listed. We're a little bit different than some systems that are out there. We are an aggregator of bids and proposals from some 88,000 government agencies. We pull that together for you so you don't have to waste that time. Time is so valuable. We learned early in those 27 years, though, that you needed some additional assistance. So GovSchool was a way to do that. We go a step beyond that fine to the actual learning how to win. And then making these sessions recorded on YouTube Live. So it's first teaching you to do it yourself. And that's always a great way to run your business. And a lot of us do it that way. And then also have classes on there. So we have it under our Gov Advice section to help you with some technical assistance. But today, what we want to talk about is end of fiscal year as we're coming up onto those last 2 months, 3 months, really, 2.5 months, going toward that October 1. I'm actually losing my timeline. We're actually about a month and a half left. It's times, it runs fast when you don't really expect it, so it's something that's happening very quick. So the next, say, 45 days, you're going to see a lot of activity, a lot of which sometimes we refer to these as micro purchases. Or these are the transactions that contracting officers can make on their own behalf. And we also are seeing some very quick turnaround on combined synopsis solicitations, the ones that are streamlined acquisition at the federal government level that allow you for them to go ahead and obligate during the period of time that they need to in order to get those funds expended appropriately and to make those selections. So we want to make sure you're at the right spot at the right time. And as we're talking about, primarily the federal government level, and just as a reminder, I always like to sometimes I use this graphic to kind of explain our purpose. But what we're dealing with is a fragmented system, the whole marketplace, and what I've been talking about in this fiscal year at the federal government level, October 1. You also find sometimes at the state level and the local government levels, and primarily, again, I think in Texas, and you might also see a larger number of Florida, where you also will see state and local governments ending their fiscal year. At the same time, you're seeing a whole other group that's just starting with brand new budgets at the state government level, and they can't obligate until they get those budgets. So a lot of times what I've found is, well, the federal government's rushing near the end, state governments are rushing at the beginning. So August, September, October is generally some of the busiest times of the years where these 88,000 plus, 36,000 cities, 3,000 counties, school districts, and all kinds of special districts that have those funds granted to them by, some some board at the local level. But those agencies are buying right now. And when they're issuing those, as they come out, you want to make sure you don't miss them. Quick turnarounds. And that's why our number had jumped from more recently 50,000 to now 80,000 active listings. I point out that we're not a speculative system. So what you see here today, somebody's going to win. It's going to turn into a contract owner about that day. And you'll see here we have different color schemes to help you. Active, the local government's green. Early lead, meaning the bid's coming soon. We know it's coming. Some of those contracts going to be issued next fiscal year. They're starting to be released now to let you know that it is coming. Those are typically ones that will, require a little bit more planning time to really for you to get in there, fully understand what they need, and so they'll announce those bids either through a public meeting of some sort or a budgeted item that'll let you get in there. But we identify those with a yellow gold, highest level early leads, and then of course our federal. In our system, federal is completely available at no charge. Something we do. We want you to have opportunity, but just to say that most of your contract opportunities will be found at the state and local level, 20 to 1 for most of us, most businesses, unless you're into defense spending. As you know, they're ramping up some defense spending right now. And of course, Intel. Intel is basically also early leads, but it's also information about what's happening in an agenda item or a budget. That means it's coming soon, but it's still being talked about with the board and gives you a little time. And of course, our awards are purple. Those are recent awards to help you out with the pricing strategies of these governments and where pricing really is at. So when you monitor those, remember that. And as you can see here, green, 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 that's most of them local and state government. But it doesn't matter where you step through. You can step through different pages there, and you'll see here's all federal now, whether or not it's going to be a localized bid or nationwide bid, listing it there for you. And I point out we had 64,000 state, local, and federal. And then the Defense Department, DIBS, also won a big buying spree, the world's largest buyer by far, the gold standard of public procurement in the world, has some 16,000 active listings by themselves today. And let's remember, they're not counted on these here, and I'll show you how to see those separately. But this is their generic search. So if you were to come in and take a look at maybe you're doing, let's just look at landscaping, and they got some extra spending. They want to clean up the area, and we go in there and we search. And we can include international bids. As you know, GovDirections does cover more than the U.S. Our U.S. is our primary territory, but we also cover Canada and Mexico now and all the Mexican states, and then the European Union members. And so those are information that's available to you, and you can see those. But if you're interested in international perspective, a lot of those fiscal year budget years are a little bit different, more traditional than the government structure in the United States, where we primarily find the federal government in October, state and local either January or in July. You find that I think the international typically on a calendar year basis. But we can add them or subtract them there and search. And you'll see the top bids, top searches we have here today as we go in and more, a lot of people are searching for mats and videos and things like that. All items that potentially they're rushing to buy so that you can go in, you can see just the landscaping. And this search here, or more of an AI type search, will give you a percentage matching to what the words are that you're seeking based on the contents of the actual bid. So finding those is somewhat helpful to you. Now, when you look into your account under Member Home as you go in, all your options will be there available at that page. And if you are specifically looking at federal government contracts, and we have them really broken down for you in 3 different areas. The first is set asides. Those are the ones that are only in a particular marketplace, small business, woman-owned, potentially service disabled, veteran-owned, where you're seeing a lot of those transactions, medium-sized transactions at this point are available. DIBS, which is, as I mentioned, the world's largest buyer, and then, of course, by the NAICS codes themselves. I'll point out the DIBS because that is where a lot of the micro purchasing is occurring right now. If you tap onto that, in the DIBS alert, the War Department, of course, that we do a daily solicitation brief and it does require immediate responses on most of these, of 3 to 4 days on average, and you have to be ready and available in their system through DIBS. You can go to and there's a video on how to do that here, but register it in the DIBS marketplace. And I'll just jump over there real quick. There, you step in, start here, and register at the top. This is different than your SAM registration. It's the simple award management, but these are transactions. If they're here, every transaction issued by DIBS DLA is posted here. Those 25,000 and above are at the federal government SAM spot, System for Award Management. And as you know, SAM is not a bidding platform. DIBS is a bidding platform. SAM is a announcement platform, an accounts payable management system, awards management system. But when you're here, if you sell in particular areas, and let's just say if I was selling a video, like somebody did, I can go in and I want to make sure I start, and then we're going to send you a special alert each morning of all transactions issued by DIBS. You can see here, well, list here the set asides. Take a special look at it with his eyeglasses there, kind of zero in on. But there's three open cessations in audio video right now, and I can go in and I can view those and see that one of those is a local set aside for the troop area, but see how quickly they are in terms of when you have to have a response back. With these type transaction, here's for example a TV monitor. If I step into it, at that point, I will see that I have to have, tracking cookies there. But here at the actual bid and the documents going to be there, and I have to turn around, usually issue a quote response to them very quickly. Have to be registered in that process, but they're going to give me a lot of information. They need two TV monitors for this particular purpose here, due by August 10th, which is today. And if I download that, it'll download to my system, but I'm gonna have to actually log in to bid. Okay, so this is a quick, easy way to find a lot of the transactions that are quickly available to you to actually bid. Recorder, printer, camera, video, things like this. Items that are one-off typically in your transactions that you can bid on. As you also go on, we have now developed our SAM NAICS code system the same way. So if you have the System for Award Management North American Industry Classification code assigned to you, you can step into here, and if you haven't set any, you actually will go to this screen first, where you actually see the stars again, and will allow you, and you can see the ones that are set aside. Only those organizations that qualify for those particular bids are available to search on those. If you're not familiar, you can type in the NAICS code. Let's see if I can do video. Also, 334310. I could use my NAICS code instead. If I've got it assigned to you, you want to make sure those are assigned to your SAM account. 7 set asides here. So there's only 3 in DIBS, but 24 others that are available, or actually 48 total, but 24 others that are available in this category for this particular NAICS code that are larger than 25,000. And these are transactions that you see they really have ramped up spending in this area as we enter in this. I normally do not see nearly this many transactions. And this is a product of the pent up process from the government being shut down so long last year to this year not being shut down. So they're moving things through the system that got backlogged, and now they're pulling them through to make them happen in time. And so it's good. They're not going to have near enough individuals bidding on these projects, which is kind of an unusual situation to be in. A lot of folks kind of set aside on the sidelines for a while, and now they're trying to re-enter. But you're finding that the marketplace is not as competitive, and so that's another advantage right now if you're on top of things. Back to that NAICS code list to see those in your member home account. Some of the larger transactions, of course, and then you can also actually go in and just look at set asides themselves. So if you do have qualifications of particular, maybe woman-owned small business, you can go in, tap, and see all the ones that are available today for woman-owned small business transactions and marked appropriately. Once again, probably a record number active I've seen in a long time, 280 active bids for woman-owned small business just today that are available to you. I can go in and look at small business, 1,931. Large volume, once again, probably a near record total number. And knowing these are the ones that are there available to you for set aside purposes. In your member home account, I want to point out another way to really put yourself in front of clients, potential clients right now, is making sure that you have your capability statement placed here, add it, and then we'll analyze it for you, but have it in such a way you can share it with contracting officers who post in the Agora marketplace. Agora, of course, is our marketplace for owners to governments and primes to come and bid and provide bids to you. They're added to your daily alerts, and it's there for them to do that. And by putting yourself in front of them, then that allows them to see you. But in addition, having your profile at the SBA set up the correct way you add your capability statement, then add your NAICS code, excuse me, and your UEI and your CAGE code, and then we'll link to that. The SBA Dynamic Small Business Search System is where a lot of the clients, governments come to you and search for you. And so they might come in here and they say, well, potentially right now, I've got a need for monitors, and I search the word monitor. It'll show me companies that provide monitors for me. And if I'm looking for a particular industry set aside segment that I might want to try to assist in some way, I don't really have a technical set aside, but I can just call up and do transactions with you at a micro purchase level, 25,000 and below, typically for most organizations. And I can just, call 3 or 4 of you and get a quote, and then choose one of you in order to go through that. So you want to make sure you've got your system in there in a correct way, so that you can present yourself in the right way with the government. So there is a quick overview of how the work is sent out this time of year. It is, once again, the busiest spending period I've ever seen. I've been doing this 30 years. I've never seen this total number of bids. In 2006, when we launched this site, it is the most active spending period in American history. And I don't want you missing out on it. So make sure you got your settings correct. You're going through, searching in the right way, tracking the bids in the right way. If you need some technical assistance, know that our GovAdvice system is available to you, hands-on assistance, helping you with writing, preparing the capability statement, learning the price, things of this nature. Everything we do, built on that philosophy of giving you the knowledge that you can do it yourself, and teaching you in the right way, and then you'll be able to do it for a lifetime. So we want you to have success. Reach out to us if you have any questions. I want to thank you for coming today, and if you've been on YouTube Live today, reach down there and subscribe, and you'll be alerted to any new sessions we do in the future. Make sure you check out our GovSchool. Have live classes, how to step in and work with the government. You can watch now. They're live, including slides that are available, kind of help you with that, and a memory stick to help you with your AI technology. So once again, thank you and have a great day.